board is leaving. Another no makeup day because I didn't feel like it. Also, I made a whole video about my freaking makeup last week, so you guys can just deal with 1 week without makeup. Just saying! Welcome to the Tea Party Hatters. It's your girl, Hannah Hatter. Woo! Back at it again with Mountain Dew. And it ain't diet this time. Hashtag not sponsored. How boys treat girls. Let me just say this now. I have a lot of experience being around a lot of men all the time because I work around a lot of men all the time. Also, my laptop's about to die. Darn it. But also, it's not that bad, really. I mean, I make it out to seem really bad in this video. But I actually love working around all these guys. They're all really great guys. They're all really nice, and they're all like brothers to me. So, shout out to all 14 of you that are in my tech class, and the 12 of you that are in my woodworking class. Y'all are everything. Also, this light needs to go off. So here you go. 4 reasons why I think boys suck. And for each category, I will be giving a pro and a con to each situation, so that you know that sometimes these are good things and sometimes they're bad things. Number 1, lifting heavy objects. Yeah. Here's the thing with boys' brains. I think they're backwards. When a man sees a woman trying to lift a heavy thing, they underestimate her, thinking, oh, that looks far too heavy for her, even though she's clearly handling it. I should go over there and take it from her and carry it for her like a gentleman. Or it's, oh, she's fine. She doesn't need my help. What a girl. I mean, the amount of times I've seen a guy look at me as I'm clearly struggling with a heavy object. And then turn around and walk the other way to help one of their guy friends who is clearly handling it just fine, baffles me. Or I could be carrying mildly heavy things, or maybe just a pile of heavy things that I'm handling, and then come and take those things out of my hand as though I cannot handle them. It infuriates me. Like, what? I understand that I'm not the strongest person in the world. Hell, I'm probably one of the weakest people in the world. But still, I can carry mildly heavy things. Pro. Other times I'm pretty lazy and I just don't want to carry the heavy things. So when a guy comes over and takes it from me, it's actually fairly helpful to my laziness. Not saying that I am lazy ever, but and that I don't like the hard work that I do every day working in a body shop. But, you know, I prefer the more meticulous things, the little details that I like to just make perfect. Such as this past week when we've been sanding on fenders, but I didn't want to do that because I'm tired of sanding, and it's a lot of hard work. So instead, I went and organized our mixing room, which looks phenomenal, by the way. And I don't feel like being some crazy lady on him. I will absolutely let him take my object, and I won't carry it. So, thanks, fellas. Number 2, dress code. Con. Now, let's say this all together. We all know the drill. Dress codes are sexist. I don't know about the dress codes at your schools, and I might be over-exaggerating a bit, but I have heard this at other schools, and this really infuriates me. At my school, and at many other schools that I've seen, there aren't that very many dress codes against men. They can't have their tank top sleeves so low that it shows from like here to here. They cannot wear a hat, they cannot wear a bandana, and they cannot be wearing anything promoting adult content. The hats and bandanas are actually a rule so that nobody's promoting a gang, which is a little weird, but you know what? I can respect that. Pretty standard, right? Women, we need to wear clothing that has a 2-finger long sleeve gap. Shorts, they cannot be shorter than the tips of our fingers. If they do not reach that tip, they are too short. Or they're just barely past the tip, too short. Shirts cannot be too low. Shirts cannot be too high. Very certain types of leggings are not allowed. Certain makeup styles where you can't even tell who the person is not allowed because it looks like a mask. Bra straps aren't allowed to show. And we get called out if our pants are too big and are slipping down. I have literally had a friend whose teacher walked up to her, tapped her on the shoulder, and goes, "Young lady, your underwear is showing. You need to pull your pants up. It's very distracting." Like, I'm sorry that I can't afford jeans my own size, and or my mother bought me these jeans so I could grow into them. And I'm sorry that my butt crack is offending you so much, even though little Johnny over there, his pants are so low, he might as well not be wearing them because I can see all his boxers. Like, what? Girls have to follow ridiculous dress codes, not only in schools, but apparently in life. I just saw a post the other day where a man took a picture of a policewoman's behind. Let me just say that again. An officer's behind. Now, let me just say one thing. Most women, there aren't any work pants out for, and I don't know how it works in the police field, but I know I've never found work pants for construction or auto fields at all for women. So I have to wear men's pants. They're not sexy. They're really, really ugly looking and make you look like you have no body. But this lady, oh God, her butt looked really good in this photo. Just a main compliment. But the caption for this man goes, "Women can't just leave their sexual tendencies at home, can they?" What? Can't leave her sexual tendencies at home? What is she supposed to do? Leave her butt at home? Do you want her to remove her behind? Like, she can't control how her butt looks in her pants. I'm sorry, you can't help but stare at this working woman who's trying to keep you safe. You can't help but stare at her behind. Maybe next time you decide you're going to take a picture at the beach with your shirt off because you're a lifeguard, maybe leave your six-pack at home so that I don't have to see it. Because apparently you can't keep your sexual tendencies at home either. Bro, because of these dress codes are getting stronger, it appears that men are just a little bit intimidated by women. I remember this one time, I had this friend, always fighting the rules. A teacher came up to her and he's trying to point out something wrong with her outfit for a dress code, but he cannot. Her shirt, oh, it was low, but it wasn't too low. Her jeans, oh, they were tight, but they weren't leggings, so he can call her out on that. Her makeup was stunning. It was beautiful, but he couldn't call her out on that either. He wanted to find some kind of way to tell her no, but for one, he was clearly perverted because he was over and over and over again, and two, he couldn't find nothing wrong with her. So he walked up to her, looked her up and down, and walked away. Ironically, that teacher's not around anymore. Also, I think men are a little bit intimidated by us women because we are asserting the sexiness in their work clothes. And they're trying to shut us down. Fight back, ladies! We look good! I don't, but y'all look good. Number 3. Children. Screw kids. I hate that everyone just assumes that I am good with children because I am a woman. Because they assume that every woman should raise the children and know what the F she's doing. Almost all the time I'm watching the show Super Nanny on YouTube, call that throwback, and all of the mothers are the ones that she's talking to all the time, always focusing on, always sitting down and be like, but you're not doing what you can. God, that was a really bad impression. While dad is off away at work saying, I'm going to do what I decide to do. Doing what I think is best when I'm in the house. And this is why I don't want children. I have my whole life had children dumped onto me. Mostly because I'm watching my siblings, and then, you know, a parent will stroll up and their little kid will start a conversation with my little sibling, and I'll just be watching them casually, and then the parent will walk away, and I will sit there and I will watch their child, because they assume that I am responsible enough to babysit their child, even though most of the time I've never met this child in my life. But don't get that wrong, I love children. I actually watch my little sister all the time. I remember one time, I was at the park with my youngest sister. She's 2 now, so she was about that age. And my dad was in another part of the park with my other sister, so I was keeping an eye on her. We were playing this little xylophone doodad thing. It was really cool looking. And then these 2 other little girls and their mom came up. And I was keeping an eye on them, you know, making sure my sister didn't hit them, making sure she moved over so that they could play. And these 2 little kids, they were the same age about my sister, and they were clearly not allowed to be on their own. They were not, you could not leave these kids on their own. They would kill themselves somehow. The mother, I didn't even notice this until like 2 minutes later. The mom had just walked away, leaving her 2 toddler daughters with some girl she didn't even know. And normally I let the little kids run off because, you know, they're little kids. It's a playground. There's lots of parents watching. And, you know, the mom's probably somewhere nearby. But these, again, were toddlers. They had no business running around by themselves. I'd let these kids play on the playground, made sure they tried to climb the slide, brought them up and down the slide a few times, and then the mom comes strolling back in 15 minutes later, gets her girls, and walked away without saying a word. I protected her children and made sure they didn't get hurt about 1 billion times for 15 minutes while this mother was doing God knows what somewhere else. Also, as a woman, people get really shocked when I say I don't want children. Like, what? I have no desire to pump a human being out of my body after carrying it around in my food sack for 9 months. This sack is for hamburgers only. But every time I say that, they'll be like, but don't you want the most beautiful little girl? Or the sweetest little boy? And then they'll tell me about their experiences with children, or how they're so happy they're parents, or can't wait to be parents. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, I'm 18 years old trying to pursue a career in either construction or auto collision repair. Probably more likely that. And I don't want to birth a human being? I don't want that responsibility. I can't barely raise myself, let alone a kid. Also, I have 6 siblings. 6 of them. Let me count that for you. That's 1 who's 14, 2 who's 13, 3 who's 12, almost 13, 4 who's 8, 5 who's 2, and 6 who's a newborn. And then me. I'm not gentle enough to raise my own child, because if I don't want to carry a baby, I will hand them back to the parent and be like, have a nice day, have fun with your crotch spot, and walk away. And I cannot handle little kids' BS problems, because there are more problems in this world than Tommy threw a rugby at the playground. And people ask me, why wouldn't you want kids? Bro, it's great for jobs. People thinking you're good with kids. Everyone wants female babysitters. And technically speaking, a woman does know more than a man about kids, honestly. Like, even without being around most kids, I kind of have an idea of how to be them. It might be because I've been around a lot of children all my life, but I do know more than the average man. Also, typically, children really like women better than they like men. I don't want to say this for certain, because I'm sure there are a bunch of children out there who prefer their dad over their mother, but I know that normally the mom is the favorite parent, and the dad is the quote-unquote bad guy. And I think that a woman, especially a child's mother, has more of an empathetic feeling towards her child, which is usually why they're kind of the less tough parent, because, you know, they carry this kid for 9 months. They shared everything with this little kid, and then they pushed it out, and this baby, this little human being, depended on their mother to help them survive for X amount of years. And that is a bond between mother and child that can never be broken unless severed by one of those two people. And I feel like any girl could feel that. Maybe not as strong as a mother per se, but I feel like you know that there's that bond. Like, even me, crazy as it seems, I'll see a child and I'll think I have to protect this little thing because I know that there's a woman out there who cares about this thing, and I gotta make sure she can get her little thing back. Number 4. Periods. I don't know if there's any pros for this one. Cons. Boys don't know what a period is like. No woman, no boy can ever say your period can't be that bad, because they don't know how bad it is. Let me just say this. I'm aware that I get hurt a lot. Because I'm clumsy, but periods suck. Just that bloody time of month where you want to rip your hair out, but also break down and cry. And let me just say this now. Never ask a woman, are you on your period? Because she will turn your head backwards. And it doesn't matter if she is or not. The only blood that will be spilling will be yours. This happens to me all the time. I hate it when guys see that a girl is clearly in a bad mood and then just assume, oh, she's on her period. It's completely insulting. It really bugs us, and it's very condescending. When you are taking our feelings, even if we are completely hormonal or not, you are taking our feelings and you are saying that they don't matter because it's just hormones. You're saying that they aren't valid, that we aren't thinking these sad thoughts or these angry thoughts, and they don't matter. And I know that when I'm on my period, I'm very pissy. Very. But even if I am, I think that it's a very valid reason that I'm angry. And if you come up to me and you go, are you on your period? Is that why you're so pissy? It makes me feel like you don't care. Even when I do get mad for a valid reason, I feel like you're not going to care because you're just going to be like, oh, she's just hormonal. No, we're not always hormonal. We're not always on our period. Shut the hell up. And you don't think that our feelings are valid because of this reason. It freaking hurts us here and everywhere, and it sucks. Also, there's a lot of sickness and pain involved physically. When I'm on my period and I have to go in and wear a belt every single day because my work pants are men's pants, see number 2, the belt digs in right here, right where it hurts the worst, and I want to cry. I want to just lay down and bawl my eyes out. Hold on a second. For those boys who don't know, let me lay on a trick for you. When girls are hurting and they need something, they need heat. So if you don't have a heating pad, because you're cheap like me, you can take a bottle, of course an empty Mountain Dew bottle for me, and fill it with nice broiling hot water. And it feels really good right there. And it makes a decent little snuggle buddy when you're in so much pain, ow, and you're just clenching your side. So, life hack, me and that bottle, we always just like to stay together. Shot of heaven. They also tell you to always eat healthy and to make sure, they always tell you to make sure you're eating and being healthy while you're on your period, and that is not very easy because when you're on your period, you feel really, really sick all the time and you just want to vomit. You don't want to eat healthy or eat anything at all, and that just makes the pain worse. Or you want to eat chocolate all the time, which really helps the emotions but doesn't help the pain. It keeps most men away from you. There are really no pros to periods. And that's all I've got for this video. And again, once more, no disrespect to my boys. This is all just for fun and giggles, and it's just to put a little bit of thought in your head that maybe you should think about girls just a little bit more than her chest is great and her butt looks good. You know what I'm saying? It's not even really, let me just, well, now I just goofed it up, but if you can't read that, it says boys plus girls with a big heart around it. Because we gotta love everyone, no matter how crazy they get or how ignorant they can be. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend and a fabulous week. And I will see you again next week with another video, because we are 6 for 6. So bye!